2018 Peugeot 508 Fastback Review. The good points of Peugeot 508 Fastback: sleek and trendy body, futuristic, high-quality interior, wide selection of engines, enjoyable to push. The bad points of Peugeot 508 Fastback: smaller boot than rivals, headroom tight within the rear, interior won't suit all drivers, UK does without smart wood trim. Despite the slow decline and rise in popularity of the large family hatchback and saloon, which includes seen famous brands the Citroën C5 and Toyota Avensis dropped from UK lineups with Renault's talisman, even if it's just sold on these shores, the use of the new Peugeot 508 Fastback from the French firm's lineup is pleasingly refreshing. Traditionally a competitor to the kind of the Ford Mondeo and Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, Peugeot is chasing far loftier competition now. It sees the Volkswagen Arteon, BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe and Audi A5 Sportback as key rivals, offering a sleek coupe-like fastback body style and also a high-end interior and tech to fit the sharp exterior look. With this premium aspiration, it's similar in concept on the Kia Stinger, too. New Peugeot 508, the styling. The new 508 certainly looks the part, that has a classy, grown-up design that fulfills the brief of competing with its German rivals. That's not saying it doesn't offer some French flair, though. At the front, there's a striking group of vertical LED daytime running lights, a clear, crisp grille and slim headlamp units. Citroën, the 508 looks smaller than a lot of its gargantuan competitors, with creases in the right places with an unfussy look. In fact, it's shorter versus the previous 508, but Peugeot assures us it's more practical, while a practical 508 SW also forms part of the modern lineup nowadays 2018. The doors are frameless being a coupe, which immediately gains it some cool points, and plays a role in its smart appearance. Around the spine, it's an easy design with Peugeot's latest claw-effect rear lights soaking in a black bar that runs the width from the car. Peugeot ups its interior game, again. Things get much more interesting from the 508. Like the 3008 and 5008 SUVs, there's been a solid focus on designing today's interior that wouldn't look out of place in additional expensive cars. Peugeot's iCockpit setup with tiny leader-in-high-set digital dials are only up front. Even so, the 508 comes which has a stepped dashboard along with a large touchscreen nabbed from your DS7 Crossback SUV, while a top center console surrounds the driving force. It's unlikely that any for those who could feel claustrophobic. Plush materials are present and correct, even though you expect cars can do without the rather lovely wood trim available on top from the range cars. Instead, a lot of carbon-flecked plastic and piano black trim will probably be found in abundance. Peugeot promises greater practicality as opposed to old car using a larger 487-liter boot up from 473 liters accessed with a hatchback tailgate rather than saloon boot. This trails its rivals, though. The Insignia offers 490, the Mondeo 541, as well as the Arteon 563 liters of room. What's in the bonnet? Peugeot comes with a selection of pure tech and Blue-D diesel engines from the 508, including 130 horsepower to 225 horsepower, with a collection of manual and automatic transmissions positioned on most engines. Automatic transmissions tend to be more widely available than manuals. Later within the car's life, a plug-in hybrid version will expand the lineup for both the Fastback and SW models. What's the Peugeot 508 like drive an automobile? With many punchy engines available as well as an impressive chassis, the 508 can be an enjoyable car drive an automobile. This 508 has traded as much as 18-inch rims and employs conventional springs and dampers in the old car, and active suspension is accessible and standard on all Petrol models inside the UK. Body control is excellent within the standard setup, and it is particularly comfortable at motorway speeds. In short, it's on the internet for with the finest in class. Despite frameless side windows, wind noise very rarely whistles its presence alongside. Throw in well-isolated engine noise, along with an impressively refined car. Comfortable and straightforward going as an alternative to sporty. The combined small controls and slightly light feel for the steering means the 508 feels nimble to maneuver, but a majority of won't, much like the iCockpit setup compared, which has a more conventional instrument panel. However, the steering doesn't feel too light, and it also is all too easy to get used on the way the vehicle responds to inputs in the driver, feeling additional agile than its size would initially suggest. Overall, it's easygoing there driving and feels rather different to its German rivals, which will resonate by customers. Despite that, it stays flat in corners, holding its line well thanks to lots of grip. Familiar trim level lineup. The 508 will come in 4 main trim levels: Active, Allure, GT Line and GT, as well as a limited run first edition sold at launch. Latest deals from Buiacar. Peugeot 508 2.0 Eddy Hybrid 44D. £11,000. Or £161 every month. Peugeot 508 SW 2.0 Bluedy GT5D. £20,450. Or £326 every month. See all deals on Peugeot 508. Representative example. Representative APR of 7.9%, borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP type finance. Just how much payable could be £250 per month, using a total cost of credit of £1,483 along with a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Buiacar Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London. WC1E7DPGBO915158 is really a credit broker regulated by FCAFRN:667368. The verdict. Early impressions are ideal for the 508. It looks fantastic, we have an equally impressive interior and drives wonderfully indeed. There's a variety of engines available, whether you desire performance or economy, and long-distance refinement will suit company car drivers. It's an additional interesting alternative to the majority of its German rivals. Nonetheless, it do not have the practicality made available from some of these, and comes at quite a superior cost compared to its more mainstream rivals. Hats off and away to Peugeot for persisting utilizing this type of body form of car, though, specifically when SUVs have become ever more popular. Peugeot 508 Fastback Review. Wide selection of petrol and diesel engines. Manual and automatic gearboxes available. Plug-in hybrid along the way. Powering the 508 is often a range of Bluedy diesels and PureTech petrol engines, most of which we've seen before in other Peugeot and Citroën products. Peugeot 508 Bluedy diesel engines. There's a collection of 3 diesel engines within the 508, starting having a 1.5-liter Bluedy 130 unit producing 131 horsepower and 300 Nm of torque. It's provided with a collection of 6-speed manual or 8-speed 8 automatic gearboxes. Pick the manual version on this engine, and also the 0.62 mph benchmark sprint takes 9.1 seconds. As you move, the E8 Auto takes slightly longer at 10.0 seconds. Top speed for both versions is rated at 129 mph. Next up is really a 2.0-liter Bluedy 160 diesel producing 163 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. This engine is merely available while using 8-speed automatic transmission, and definitely will complete the 0.62 mph sprint in 8.4 seconds. It'll continue to reach 143 mph top speed. At the top in the diesel range in GT trim only is usually a 177 horsepower version with a 2.0-liter Bluedy engine, badged Bluedy 180. It too is simply available as a possible auto. Offers 400 Nm of torque and is just slightly quicker to arrive at 62 mph from your standstill, taking 8.3 seconds to finish the dash. Top speed is 146 miles per hour. Performance is strong because of all that punch, and it also feels well matched while using 8-speed auto. The torque doesn't overwhelm the automobile when you need to relocate away slightly quicker, also it makes its way with the ratios smoothly with hardly any jerkiness. It also remains very refined always, rendering it a great selection for long-distance journeys. Peugeot 508 PureTech petrol engines. 2 petrol engines are available inside the 508, which are 1.6-liter turbocharged PureTech units. First up could be the PureTech 160 with 161 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque, only provided with auto box. The 0.62 miles per hour sprint is dealt with in 7.9 seconds. Also it'll continue on to reach a 143 miles per hour top speed. At the top in the range could be the PureTech 225, producing 224 horsepower and 300 Nm of torque. It's the fastest to try and do the 0.62 miles per hour sprint at 7.3 seconds, and definitely will reach a 155 miles per hour top speed. It too only used the automatic gearbox. The 225 engine is quiet, but such as the diesel, its soundtrack is low down inside the mix, also it accelerates well. The 8-speed auto is responsive, but it is often a little too wanting to change ratios. Most on the time, though, it changes between ratios very smoothly and also the engine noise never gets too beyond control. Put it in sport mode and it also becomes a bit more hyperactive and hangs onto gears a shade long, which can be where the engine makes itself heard. It's not very gruff and unsightly, though the sound of your 4-cylinder engine isn't particularly inspiring, and there's many turbo whistle, too. Peugeot's 508 is enjoyable on the twisty road. Good body control with little roll. Impressive ride and sharp steering. Peugeot is making some big promises about how a 508 drives. Plus the experience using a twisty road lives nearly what you'd expect from those sleek, sharp exterior lines. While it's less involving like a BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe, the 508 does a superb job to become both good to operate a vehicle and comfortable simultaneously, even on higher spec GT models with larger alloy wheels. Take the 508 down a twisting road and it also remains remarkably balanced and stable, feeling easily chuckable as a result of quick steering and impressive body control. It'll eventually use as up grip should you really push it. Nevertheless it takes some doing and the majority 508 drivers are unlikely to become driving it at full pelt with a twisty broad. Higher spec 508s feature adaptive dampers offering 4 driver modes: Eco, Comfort, Normal and Sport. The softest setting makes all the prow bob up and down slightly too much, while Normal does an excellent job of smoothing things out without feeling too wallowy. Unsurprisingly, Sport provides firmest setup. Nevertheless it's never jarring and works with harsh bumps within the road very well. Models lower down the number do devoid of the adaptive setup, and don't ride quite as well. But even GT line models deliver a composed ride while retaining grit involving the expected driving experience. Eye-catching dashboard design looks great. Not the maximum amount of space such as rivals, though. Some controls will take some adjusting to. Peugeot's no familiar iCockpit interior setup morphs in the new generation while using 508, taking cues from besides the latest 3008 and 5008 SUVs. But in addition concept cars the organization has shown recently. The tire is small, the dials are set good for dashboard as well as the center console slopes away in the dashboard, cocooning the driver at the start. The dashboard itself is stepped, which makes it a considerably more interesting location to sit, but there's not an overwhelming sense of space for larger drivers. It all feels well made with lots of nice materials used around the cabin. Though the digital dials and low-sit touchscreen display inside the center will take just a little getting used to for most. Complaints we've made about access for the climate control may be partly rectified with all the 508 because of temperature displays each and every side on the screen, But you'll still want to use the piano-style keys running down the bottom in the screen to modify between the main functions. It's not easiest to use in a hurry without taking your vision off the road to get more time than you'd like, but spend slightly more time driving and you'll learn where things are all. Not all drivers will quickly realize the 508 comfortable, though. Taller people could struggle for headroom, whilst the cocooning feel might feel a tad too cramped for a lot of, too. There's no denying how attractive everything is, though. There's real drama for the way the 508's interior looks, and also the material quality will be the best yet from your French company. If you get on with all the cockpit design and driving position, the 508 is really a lovely devote which to while away the miles. Good ride comfort on adaptive suspension. Supportive seats and low driving position. Refinement is superb. In regards to interior comfort, the 508 offers comfortable, contoured seats throughout the range using a good choice of adjustment for both front occupants, with lots of pleasant materials making the complete ambience a pleasant one. When it comes to your way it rides, higher-spec GT models with adaptive suspension perform wonderfully, despite landing on the largest wheels within the range, at 19 inches bigger. It's never too fidgety over broken surfaces, even during sport mode, while comfort and normal modes erase all however the worst bumps inside road. It doesn't crash into harsh bumps on standard suspension, however it's not quite as settled and cost-setting as those higher-up kids. Refinement is especially impressive inside the 508, both from your driver's seat and also the passenger seat. Even on larger wheels, there isn't much noise kicked up from your road, whilst the engines we've tried until now have remained hushed by any means speeds. Even working them hard doesn't end up having too much intrusion into your cabin, making it a relaxing destination for a spend time. The most noticeable disturbance could be the wind noise around the mirrors and also the top from the frameless doors. Well equipped along the 508 range. Top-spec models loaded with kit, but pricey. Lots of tech and safety assistance equipment. The 508 lineup mirrors a lot of Peugeot model ranges, being released active, Allure, GT line and GT trims, with first edition models heading kids but in limited numbers. Standard Peugeot 508 Fastback equipment. Starting together with the Active, the 508 incorporates 17-inch alloy wheels, visibility pack, automatic headlights and wipers, auto-dimming rear-view mirror, safety pack, autonomous emergency braking, distance alert and active lane keep assist, dual-zone climate control, auto-folding door mirrors, rear parking sensors, 3D navigation system with voice recognition, Bluetooth, DAB radio, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, 12.3-inch digital dials, 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment screen, speed limit recognition, keyless start. Moving up on the 508 Allure brings Safety Plus Pack, active blind spot detection, advanced driver attention alert, auto high beam and road sign recognition, 10.0-inch infotainment screen, keyless entry and ignition, Fujio Park 1, back and front parking sensors and reversing camera, ambient lighting, front seat heating, half-leather upholstery. The 508 GT line provides a sportier feel, with 18-inch two-tone alloy wheels, full LED headlights, rear lights and blade-style running lights at the front end, gloss black door mirrors, window trim and rear bumper diffuser, tinted windows, leather controls with contrast stitching, aluminum pedals, black headlining, wireless phone charging, sports seats in half-leather with contrast stitching. Sitting on top of the GT line may be the GT. 19-inch alloy wheels. Active suspension. Drive Assist Pack Plus, adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go function, lane position assist. Power folding door mirrors with auto-dimming function. Electric tailgate. Perforated leather controls with leather gear lever. Full leather upholstery with electric front seats with memory function and massage. Focal premium subwoofer. Limited to 200 cars within the UK during launch could be the first edition, which builds on GT with night vision system, Fujio Park 3 to 360-degree cameras, automatic parking, Alcantara and part-nap leather seat trim, stainless steel door sills with first edition badging, two-tone diamond-cut 19-inch alloy wheels, chrome checkered and gloss black grille, optional Peugeot 508 Fastback extras. If you need optional extras designed to your 508, a number of are available with respect to the model you are beginning from. The active suspension standard on GT, together with PureTech 180 Allure versions, is must-see, as it definitely makes the 508 ride perfectly. Indeed, is available being an option on basically Bluety 130 508s. Similarly, driving assistance tech standard higher up the product range is on lower spec models at extra expense, while leather trim in a range of colors, parking cameras and audio system upgrades are positioned on most in the range. A panoramic glass sunroof isn't a real priority, but does bring additional light in the cabin that'll be advantageous on cars that consist of black headlining. Plenty of safety equipment as standard. Advanced driver assistance tech available too. Should prove a secure family car. The 508 is yet to become tested by Euro NCAP, but Peugeot has laid it on thick, keeping the car safe kit. All 508s include 6 airbags as standard, a person attention alert system, autonomous emergency braking, speed limit recognition and 3 ISOFIX child seat mounting points. There's fashionable distance alert system and active lane keeping system on all models. More driver assistance kit can be obtained as you move up the stove or in the options list, including adaptive cruise control with stop and go function, active blind spot detection, automatic high beam for your lights, bright LEDs on some models, night vision, lane positioning assistance and road sign recognition. 508 technically a 5-seater. Only space for 4 realistically. Hatchback body more practical than before. Passenger space inside 508 is restricted when in contrast to its rivals. Cars much like the VW Arteon and Kia Stinger offer an amazing bit more room for passengers, especially inside rear, but 4 average-sized adults shouldn't struggle excessive. A 2 of adults will easily fit beforehand thanks to a good amount of adjustment inside seats, but there's no escaping the 508's low roofline, slim windows and encompassing dash. It doesn't feel as big inside as the rivals. It's an identical story inside the back. There's enough space for just 2 adults so long as there isn't anyone too tall inside front. However, the sloping roofline impacts on headroom, while higher spec designs have dark roof lining and tinted windows, which makes it feel quite dark inside. There's also not many foot room within the front seats, however it's definitely not being uncomfortable, plus the seats can be very comfortable indeed, even inside the back. The 508 has shrunk compared to its predecessor, it's shorter reduce, yet it's wider. That means it's also noticeably small compared to its rivals, which can be beneficial when you are looking at driving and maneuvering around town. Parking sensors and also the option of all-round camera aid with visibility, one with the 508's biggest issues. Look out of the rear from the car along with the view out in the small rear window is essentially blocked by the spine headrests, while tinted glass and enormous pillars also limit the vista out. Up front everything is much easier when looking at visibility, plus the small tire helps the 508 feel more agile out partying. Despite the smaller sized dimensions, the 508 is much more practical than before on account of a hatchback tailgate replacing the saloon body style, with top models coming through an electric boot lid to assist access. Space available with all the seats up weighs about 487 liters, which trails the majority of its rivals, especially the VW Arteon. Fold the back seats down plus a total of a single 537 liters of space is accessible.